Okay, so our problem here is to work out 321 subtract 123. Well, if we look at this before we attempt it, we can see that we're going to run into difficulties, not with the hundreds, but with the 21 here, subtract 23, because the 23 obviously is a bit larger than the 21. So we can see that it's going to be a little bit tricky, and we need to carefully select the method we're going to use. Right, well, let's just start by writing the problem out and maybe rearrange it to start with so that we can try and make the problem a little simpler. So we're going to take this 21 off this side, and if we subtract 21 from here, then we also need to subtract it from the other side so that we keep the difference the same. So we've now got 300 subtract 102. Okay, that looks a lot easier, and we can go ahead and try and work it out. Let's say 300 subtract 100 and then subtract 2. That might make life a little easier, and sure enough we've got 200 subtract 2, so we can just count back and get 198. Okay, what other methods have we got to try this out? Well, let's try a column method. So we've got 321 over 123, and this time we'll go from left to right and just see where that gets us. Okay, so we'll start with 100 here. Take that from 300, gives us 200. The 2 from 2 gives us 0, so we don't need to write that down even. And now we've got the 3 from 1. Now it's a smaller number, but no reason why we can't just go into the negative. So 1 subtract 3 gives us minus 2, or negative 2. So we've got the same thing again as we had before. 200 subtract 2 gives us 198. Now let's try the standard algorithm where we go from right to left. So 321, 123. How's this one going to work out? Well, immediately we have to start borrowing. So we take one of the 10s off this 20, leaving us just with 10 left here in this column. We add the 10 here to give us 10, add 1, 11. 3 from 11 gives us 8. And by the way, if we weren't 100% certain about that, there's two things we can do. One is we can use our up and down method. So 11 subtract 3, we can take again from each side, we can change it to something like 10 subtract 2. That might be a bit easier. Or we can simply add back. So we can say, well, 8 add 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So by double checking, adding back, we are confident that 11 take away 3 is 8. Okay. Now we move to this column, the tens column. We're trying to subtract 20 from 10, so we have to borrow again. We've now got 200 in the hundreds column, and we lend 100, if you like, to this. And so we've got 2 from 11 gives us 9 or 90, because it's in the tens column. And then we've got 1 from 2 gives us 198. So 3 ways of getting to the answer of 198. And with all of these methods, very good idea to add the answer to whatever it was we were subtracting it from, 123 in this case. So let's try that. So we've got 198, add 123. This gives us a little addition problem. Let's do this again using the standard algorithm. Looks pretty straightforward. 8 add 3 is 11. 1 carry the 1. 9 add 2 is 11. And 1 is 12. 1 add 1 is 2. And I nearly forgot to carry the 1 there. So we've got 1 add 1 add 1. 100 add 100 add 100 gives us 321. So that gives us the confidence that we were right. We could have just, of course, have done this rather differently. We could have done a very quick check using a horizontal method. So 198 add 123 can be changed up this side, down this side to 200 plus 121. Again, giving us the answer of 321. Okay, so we're confident we've got the right answer, and we can move on to the next question. Now, a lot of people got this right, but a lot of people got it wrong as well. So where did they go wrong, and how can we avoid the kind of mistakes that other people made? Well, the examiner says this question was well answered by most students. The traditional method of setting it out, which is the standard method that we used here, this was the most common method employed and the one which generated most success. So when people tried other methods, it didn't seem to work. A few students, though, simply subtracted the smaller digit from the larger in the hundreds and units columns to arrive at an incorrect answer of 202. So let's just see how they did that. I think what we'll do is just change the colour of the pen here so that we can see this as a misconception or a mistake. So what they must have done is they must have written out the question 321, put the 123 over the top, and whether they went from right to left or left to right, they didn't see these, I guess, as 320 and 1, 120 and 3. They just saw these as the digits, and they looked at the difference between these digits. So when they did a subtraction, they had the idea of difference, but they didn't get the right answer because they simply went 3 and 1, the difference is 2, 2 and 2, the difference is 0, and 1 and 3, the difference is 2. So what they didn't understand, I guess you could say, is that with subtraction you can't commute. 1 subtract 3 isn't the same as 3 subtract 1. Okay, I hope that's an interesting run through of that problem, and that if you tried it yourself, you also got the right answer for 1 mark, and you got a method that worked quite effectively, quite reliably, and that didn't take too long either to compute.